True School Sports. Let's go, baby. Bow.
Be careful what you wish for because it can become a reality.
Yeah. The Untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game is missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. All right, so it's been a long time since I did one of these long extended runs of prospect / contender reviews. So you guys are gonna hear about a lot of fighters that maybe you've been asking me about in my lives, or maybe that you haven't heard about. Period. I got like 13 of these I'm gonna do, so they'll be coming out. So stay tuned. So to get it kicked off, I want to talk about a fighter from Kazakhstan that I've had a lot of people talk to me about, and I've had a chance to watch him fight on one particular occasion, and that is none other than the number 2 WBA and number 3 IBF super featherweight contender, Sultan Zaurbek. Yes, Sultan Zaurbek, 20-0, 13 knockouts, hard punching southpaw from Shimkent, Kazakhstan. Let's talk about him because there's quite a lot to talk about, because Sultan is knocking right on the door of a world title shot. As I mentioned to you guys, he's number 3 in the IBF. He's number 2 in the WBA. So it's very possible that in the next couple of months, in the upcoming months, in either this calendar year or maybe in the first half of next calendar year, you see Sultan Zaurbek in a big fight with the likes of Raymond Ford, Eduardo Sugar Nunez, or Hayato Tsutsumi, or Jazza Dickens, because those are all the guys that he's ranked in and around. Right now as it stands on August 12th, 12:04 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Sultan Zaurbek is number 3 in the IBF, but he's really number 1 because the number 1 and number 2 spot are actually vacant. There's nobody occupying those spots, so he's really number 1. And then just below him is Raymond Ford. So either he's gonna fight, if he goes that route, he's either gonna fight Raymond Ford or Eduardo Sugar Nunez. So that's interesting. In the WBA picture, he's ranked number 2. Hayato Tsutsumi is ranked number 3, just below him. And Elnor Zamadov is number 1, and then Jazza Dickens is the interim champion. He'll probably get elevated if Lamont Roach moves up. So that's where he's at right now. So let's talk about Sultan Zaurbek, because a lot of people have been telling me about him, and I did get a chance to watch him fight. He fought earlier this year on one of Johnny Beck's undercards. He fought former world title challenger from Africa, Azinga Fuzili, and many of you guys may remember Azinga Fuzili. He's been in the ring with guys like Kenichi Ogawa, Shavkat Rakhimov, Martin Ward, and that's probably the best guy I would say that Zaurbek has on his resume. So I think his best boxing is still in front of him. Now, as far as him as a fighter, like, his trainer is Manny Robles. He's been training with Manny Robles for roughly a year now. Manny Robles, as we all know, is a world-renowned trainer. He's trained guys like Andy Ruiz when he became champion. He's training Rafael Espinoza. He trained Sergey Boychuk. So to be with a trainer like that, I think is good for Sultan Zaurbek. A lot of times with these Kazakh fighters, they're very good. They're not quite as robotic as the Uzbeks, but the Kazakh fighters are very well schooled and they have their own school of boxing. So I think getting it with a guy like Robles is helping Sultan to become even more of an aggressive fighter, which I think plays to his strengths, because when you watch him fight, he's naturally a heavy-handed fighter. He throws some really good body shots. I think when you get with a guy like Manny Robles, it just puts the emphasis on throwing certain shots in certain spots on the opponent, to the body, to the head. So that's why I think Manny Robles is good for him. Now, as far as his amateur background, he's got a pretty good amateur background. He's got well over 300 fights. He actually does have an amateur win over Peter McGrail, who was top amateur himself. Peter McGrail was a matchroom boxing fighter. He was highly touted coming into the pros. Hasn't quite lived up to his potential in the pros, or what they said he was going to be in the pros, but that's a good win to have as an amateur, because Peter McGrail was a very good amateur fighter. So a good amateur fighter. He actually won the 2014 AIBA silver medal and 2014 Asian Games gold medal. So on the he's done some things in the amateurs, right? He's accomplished some good things in the amateurs. And I'm reading my notes. I take a lot of notes for these prospect review videos. But very heavy-handed, not robotic, well schooled, throws combinations. So one thing I like about Sultan is that he throws combinations very, very well. When he does commit to shots, he commits to them very, very well. He can be slick at times, although I won't say like it's his default setting. There's times where when he decides to box, he's got very good upper body movement and he slips shots very, very well, like as most southpaws tend to do. yeah, you know, he's one of these guys that I think, you know, is he vulnerable a little bit because he did have a fight earlier in his career. He got dropped by an Argentinian named Nicolas Botinelli. And he got up off the canvas and he got up to stop that Argentinian in the 5th round of that fight. And that was back in his 13th fight a couple years ago. So there are vulnerabilities with Zoltan. But he is coming from a good amateur background. He can punch. He is with a well-schooled trainer. And I think even though he's 29, I still think there's a little bit more room to grow for him. And I think that he's going to be involved in some really relevant fights here in the next couple of years. I think when you talk about the landscape of the super featherweight division or junior lightweight, whatever you want to call it, this is one of the names you need to know because he's going to be in an important fight. So if you don't know who he is right now at the time he's shooting this video, you may come back to this video 8, 9, 10 months, a year later after I drop this, when he's getting ready to fight a guy like Eduardo Sugar Nunez, Raymond Ford, Hayato Sutsumi, these kind of guys. But yeah, Zaurbek being in that stable, I can't prove this, but I would assume if he's training with Manny Robles, and you know he's only a weight class above Rafael Espinoza, I would assume he probably gets some working with Rafael Espinoza. So you know that might be sharpening him up, and that might be teaching him how to, you know, up the volume on his punches and even target the body more. So yeah, I like Zoltan. Zoltan's got really heavy hands. I think he's one of these fighters where when he throws punches, he doesn't have to like load up. He naturally has pop. Some fighters, they don't really have power like that, so they really have to load up to generate power. And then you got fighters who are naturally heavy-handed, who naturally have good mechanics in the power punching department, and they don't got to load up. All they got to do is just focus on landing the shot, placing the shot, and the gifts that God gave them in the form of their power and their genetics kind of do the rest of the work, you know? So I feel like he's one of them guys. But yeah, Sultan Zaurbek, that's my little thoughts on him. I never talked about him before, so shout out to Kazakhstan. You know, I have a long track record covering a lot of Kazakh fighters. And I'm talking about even the Kazakh fighters that aren't even big. You know, there's one guy on here. I think his name was like 1234. It's the guy that used to watch my channel. He's from Kazakhstan. He'll tell you. You know, if he sees this video, he'll tell you. But yeah, I haven't been to Kazakhstan, but I've always had good interactions with the Kazakh people on YouTube and the handful that I met in real life, and they love their boxing, man. And that's a country I hope to go to because they take their boxing serious. And so, yeah, Sultan Zaurbek, will he win a world title? I'm not so sure. I think if Jazza Dickens gets elevated and he gets the opportunity to fight a Jazza Dickens for the title, I think he'll beat Jazza Dickens, even though Jazza Dickens is a good fighter. But I'll tell you this, man. He fight a guy like Sugar Nunez. That's gonna be a fight. Like him and Sugar Nunez would be a really crazy fight because they both look for they're action fighters. So when you put two action fighters in the ring, 9 times out of 10 you're gonna get action. So I think that'd be probably one of the more entertaining fights you can make from like an entertainment standpoint. But he's gonna be involved in a big fight. So make sure you guys stay tuned to Sultan Zaurbek and leave your comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. There's more prospect review and contender review videos on the way. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me. But I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. For more great boxing content just like this, make sure you guys stay tuned and subscribe. You won't be disappointed.